Okay, we're finally at the step we've all been waiting for, and that's the last step. The video number 2 under adding the sheeting. We need to now, after we have all 3 of these sheets nailed down, we need to cut out the holes for both the doors and the windows. There's a lot of different various ways to do this. Sometimes people will just drill a hole in the corners and take a flush trim router bit and cut those out, which you're going to do in class. Sometimes people will take a Sawzall and do it. And then there's various other ways people do it with hand saws. Personally, though, it's a lot better to hang the sheeting first and then cut the hole out than it is to take all of these measurements and cut the sheet out beforehand and then lay it up on the wall. So the way we're doing this in this program is very similar to how we do it in real life. So follow along with these steps so that we can get our holes cut out. So here is your wall, which you should have just completed. Hopefully it didn't take you too long. Make sure everything's good and accurate. Make sure everything is flush. Probably the number one mistake I see with this step is people don't have their sheets of OSB plywood right tight against the wall. It's off a little bit. If that happens, that's going to give you some hassles on this next step. So in order to cut these out now, we need to flip this over. We need to orbit all the way around, and then we need to do a lot of zooming in and adjusting in order to get these holes cut out. So for this first sheet, you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm actually selecting the component of this first sheet. You need to double check, make sure that turns blue. Now, in order to adjust a component, we have to double click it so that we see this little box go around here. If you don't do it, it won't let you cut a hole in. So please double check that when doing this. All we're simply going to do now on this inside corner is grab our rectangle tool, move it all the way down over here, make sure it's doing it. There we go, there's our rectangle. We're going to orbit around. And we need to grab the other corner of this. There we go. And then we're going to take and we're going to push-pull this surface. Notice how this highlights and this doesn't. Okay, this one does, but it's not highlighting our inside of our rectangle. So we're going to click and push-pull it in. And here is where it's absolutely important that we see the on face. When we click that, it's going to cut that hole out. And there you can see the opening of our doorway, and the sheeting stayed there. That's important. So we come over here. There you can see the hole of our door has been cut out. And now you can really see the walls kind of come together and see how things look. Now for doing the window, it's the same. But you have to do it twice. Because a seam of our plywood came in here, we have to do one rectangle on this side and then orbit around and do the other rectangle. So first I'm going to be able to get a view here so I can actually see that the proper sheet is selected. Double click it to adjust the component. We're going to grab the bottom of this time. We're right here. Orbit around. Rectangle. Grab this end. Push pull until we see on face, and there it cuts it out. Select tool, click off of the object. Orbit around. There's the sheet that's selected. Double click, right click, orbit around. There we go. And grab the end of this as well. Now make sure we're grabbing the right thing here. See how I wanted to grab over there? Make sure we grab on the inside edge. Push, pull. On face. There you go. This is what I find to be the easiest way to draw out our sheeting and to cut out our windows and our doors so that we get a nice finished look here. Now, before we can sign off on here, what am I forgetting? Include your name in the drawing. Okay? It's very easy to copy from somebody else's assignment. So we make sure you put your name on there. Make sure everyone's being honest here and doing their own work. I'll know right away if you're not. So I'm going to put my name, Mr. Olmos. And of course, I would bring this over to Mr. Olmos for a signature. I would either that or I would take a screenshot of this, and then I would email it to him. Either way, I will sign off credit in the gradebook for you. And congratulations now. You have just done a big, long process with Google SketchUp. The goal here is, hopefully, in the future, you'll be able to draw and make your own projects in Google SketchUp. And the idea is that you make your mistakes virtually and not cutting out a whole bunch of boards and making mistakes. Make sure you save along the way as we get going here. Let's go back to our checkoff sheet. Bring this up to Mr. Almos for a signature. You'll notice there's some extra credit I added on this one from that last video. If you missed it, go back to the last video and tell me what that means. You'll get some extra credit. The whole parts above here are worth 100 points. At this point in time, if you've done everything correctly and I've signed off on everything, you will get 100 points right here, no problem. You can go back, redo, and fix anything you need along the way and to make sure you ensure you get 100 points. Then the next step here is an optional assignment, extra credit. Draw this floor. Okay, the video will walk you through how to do it briefly with less directions. It's only about 3 minutes long. Present this drawing to me and I will give you extra credit for it. It's going to add 25 points to this. To finish this project up, we've got some reflection questions here. They're 2 points apiece. You will get, excuse me, they're not 2 points apiece, they're 3 points apiece. There we go, let's change that right now for you. 3 points apiece, they need to be answered in complete sentences. Get this turned in to me, give me some honest feedback about what you learned on here in complete sentences, and you'll get some easy credit. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So the whole thing is worth 112 points. 100 for the work above, 12 points for the extra credit. There we go, let's type it in correctly. There we are. And the 25 points for extra credit would get added right to that. So let me know what you think. I'm here to help. This can be done at home. It can be done the days available that we did in class. It can be done in iTime, before or after school. But you need to let me know how I can help you here to learn Google SketchUp and to get through this entire assignment. What happens if you have some signatures and you lose this paperwork? I have no proof that you did it until the very end when you turn it all in with my signatures. So do not lose this. Thank you very much. Let me know what I can help with.